Hello, hello, and a pleasant good morning to everybody. Welcome back to Morning Quest. Happy Friday. We got another good one for you all today. Bit lighter on the news side, but we definitely do have some cool, interesting stuff to talk about. Anyway, let's just jump right into it. I know I usually do an intro and talk some stuff, but you guys know what's going on. Let's just dive right into it. First things first, coming to us from Noisy Pixel. Let's give Orpheus Joshua, a Sage of the Lodge. Big shout out here. By the way, good morning, Seven Hearts, and good morning, Falcone. Everyone at Square Enix working on this game should absolutely be proud of themselves. Now, I don't really play Ever Crisis anymore, but I definitely enjoyed my time with the game, and I'm definitely keeping up with the story stuff that they throw in for the first Soldier. But the game is definitely a fun game. The port to Steam was such a brilliant idea. Makes the game way more playable and enjoyable. But 10 million downloads is no joke. 10 million downloads is no joke. Especially for something that's a little bit more niche. Like, you gotta consider it. I know it's free, but you gotta think about it like this. More people have downloaded Ever Crisis than have purchased Rebirth. I'm gonna say that again. More people have downloaded Ever Crisis than have played Rebirth. Now, the numbers between Ever Crisis and Remake are about the same, if I'm not mistaken. I think Remake is a little bit under, but it's approaching that 10 million mark. I think it's closer to 6 or 7. I don't know. Don't have the numbers on me right now. But I think that's a very peculiar thing to notice. And I think it says something about the mobile market, that there are people who enjoy playing mobile games that maybe are willing to experience a new IP or a new franchise. I guess I'm just willing to bet that a number of these 10 million that have downloaded Ever Crisis haven't played Rebirth yet, haven't played Remake yet, and maybe are using Ever Crisis as a way to approach the Final Fantasy VII world in a more tame manner. You know, not necessarily making the big dive into the 80-hour campaign that is FF7 Rebirth. But honestly, I really do believe that everyone at Square Enix should be proud of themselves. 10 million people downloading a mobile game is honestly incredible. And I think it's very good, not just for Square Enix, but the FF7 brand. And I hope that they can keep this going leading into the third title. And that, because for me, I've kind of lost interest in replaying the compilation. Like in Ever Crisis, you can go play Crisis Core, or, you know, the original FF7 and stuff like that. You know, I've played so many of these games so many times. I don't really have a desire to go through Ever Crisis's retelling and summarization of the compilation. However, I am like full on in on the first Soldier scenario, which, as you guys saw, we've discussed on the show quite a lot. Speaking of which, I should have mentioned this in the intro. I was going to do a podcast the past weekend about First Soldier. I had some things come up and I've had to put that off. But this Monday night, we're going to do an FF7 podcast talking about the latest Ever Crisis and First Soldier updates. Now, with that out of the way, just wanted to give Square Enix and the team working on FF7 a bit of a shout out here. We're going to talk more Square Enix towards the back end of this episode. But for now, let's keep it with Noisy Pixel. This one coming to us from Azario Lopez. So, you might have seen in the, what would you say? You might have seen in the title and the thumbnail that it's possible that the first Nintendo Switch 2 game was announced. Now, we had some noise being made by Aonuma and the Zelda team about maybe some upcoming Zelda titles, not anything mainline. I think it's way too soon for anything mainline. But maybe some upcoming spin-offs. Again, the Zelda series has always had a lot of spin-offs and has always done very well with them. So that's made a lot of noise lately. But check this out. You might find this rather peculiar. Now, ukulele, I didn't play ukulele, so I can't really comment on it. But I would like to get this out of here. I would like to point something out to you guys. So check it out. This got announced, Yuka Replay, obviously like a remaster or a, as you Kingdom Hearts fans know, a final mix of Yooka-Laylee, Yuka Replay. It doesn't sound fun to say. Anyway, if you can see, they say here Xbox Series X, PS5, PC, but just Nintendo. Not Nintendo Switch, but Nintendo, and these little eyes that are like, So I think it's rather clear that Yuka Replay will probably be a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2 or an early release. Again, there's wish list now. I don't think there's a release date. No release date. But again, if you look down here, it's pretty obvious. Because if this was going to be on the Switch, why not just say the Switch? It's very clear what's being alluded to here. Maybe they're just trolling, but, you know, I doubt Nintendo is that much of a troll. Okay, let's keep it moving along here. Again, Ever Crisis with 10 million downloads. Yuka Replay soft announces a Switch 2 and a launch for it. Let's move on to our next story, which I think you guys are going to like quite a bit. So, we discussed this on the last episode, and since then, a trailer has dropped for Lazarus. So for those who are not in the know, Lazarus is this new anime coming out made by the director of Cowboy Bebop, Space Dandy. Now, me personally, Cowboy Bebop is a top 3 anime for me. I probably watched the series 5 or 6 times, but then again, it's only 24 episodes. So, you know, not even like watching Naruto once. But I have watched the series over and over and over again and will continue to do so. And while I liked Space Dandy, it wasn't quite my cup of tea, you might say. It wasn't quite my cup of joe. However, Lazarus here, I don't know much about it. I was tempted to watch this last night, but I said to myself, let's go in blind on Morning Quest. Let's go in blind on Morning Quest. Again, I'm a big fan of this author's work. I've got all the Cowboy Bebop manga right on my shelf over here. Let's give this a look. Hey, what's going on? Luz says, I am looking forward to the Yooka-Laylee remake. Did you play Yooka-Laylee? Or will Yuka Replay be your first experience with Yooka-Laylee? But anyway, let's get into Lazarus here. I'm hoping I like it. I'm hoping I dig it. I'm always open for a new anime to hit the scene. Big fan of this author's work. Let's see what he's got in store. Okay, I'm already liking the vibes, which is a big part of Bebop too. Already liking it. Let's keep this going. Okay, I gotta say, all the character art is really good. Let's go one at a time here. So, he kind of looks a bit like Spike Spiegel. I'm not gonna complain though. But I like the protagonist design. Gives you that very Chad energy. Let's put it that way. What's up, Lance? Knockful Gale says, I played Yooka-Laylee, never finished it, but I really liked it. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about it. Is it like a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, like some people are saying? And again, good morning, Lance. So again, I dig his design. He looks cool. He reminds me of, who's the guy from the older Tomb Raider games? Was it Zip? He was like Lara's, not her Alfred, but kind of her behind-the-scenes guy. Yeah, exactly. Okay, it is. Honestly, that does make me want to play it, Noct. I wish they would kind of lean into the idea that Yooka-Laylee is like a Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor. I remember when it first got announced and was coming out, they leaned on that. I think they should totally lean on that, especially with Banjo-Tooie now on Nintendo Switch Online. But anyway, he's looking pretty cool. Again, I think it's Zip he reminds me of from Tomb Raider. Ooh, little man here. Obviously, probably going to be a comic relief character, just based on that. I think she's going to be our techie. I dig it. Looks good. Oh, yes. See, that is the thing. That's one of the things that made Bebop so cool. Okay, let's get out of this crotch shot here. That's one of the things that made Bebop so cool were the action sequences. I don't know if you saw that. Right after they said the director was Watanabe, they went right into who the action director is. So I've got a feeling the fight scenes and the action sequences are going to be next level on this show. Because, again, that's one of the things that made Bebop stand out back in the day. Oh, wait, this is a prison break. This is a prison break. Homeboy's going to break out of prison in episode 1. I mean, look, it's a little cliche to start a story with a prison break, but no one ever complains about it. It's one of those good cliches. And again, one thing I can't stand is that, like, cliches get framed as a bad thing. Cliches are cliches for a reason. It's because they work. It's about execution, baby. I'm really not gonna lie. I'm just straight digging the presentation. The vibe. I wonder. The soundtrack is always a big deal to me with a lot of these shows. If this is an example of what the soundtrack's gonna sound like, something a little bit more chill, something that almost has a bit of a lo-fi vibe to it. Definitely isn't lo-fi per se, but it's got a bit of that vibe to it. I think the Bebop soundtrack is S tier. I'm hoping that this can hold its own. Soundtrack. Okay, so we got a lot of bird symbolism there at the end. Why is this the most replayed? Well, we're gonna find out. I'm gonna learn today. Okay, I don't know. Okay, never mind. I thought they might have had something good for us there. But this is pretty cool, man. Let's put this on mute, let it roll. This is pretty cool. I won't lie. Music is so vibey. Dude, it really is. Honestly, what am I doing? What am I doing? We'll let it roll while I'm talking. And, like, that's what... And don't get me wrong, Bebop tells a really good story. And it's got really good characters and everything like that. But really, kind of the best part about Bebop is the vibes. Is the way it feels to just have that show on your TV. It's not something I think enough shows pay attention to. Right? Like, there's a certain energy that gets emitted when something's on. And it's one of the things that, again, I know I keep saying it's one of the things Bebop did well. And it's why there really is, like, no other anime quite like it. Which is why weebs like me are forced to keep coming back to Watanabe and be like, you got any more? Got any more of those vibes, bro? Oh, man. All right, let's move on from that. I will say, guys, thanks for indulging me. You know, it's cool to talk a little bit anime. I love talking games on this channel, don't get me wrong. But I do like that we have a little... What the hell? You know, it's great when work calls you, what, 20 minutes before your shift starts? They can wait. They can wait. Anyway, let's keep this rolling here. Let's move on to... I guess there's another trailer we could watch, but let me make sure we get into... Oh, that's right. Let's talk about this. So I don't want to get too far into this, but apparently the new Adult Swim anime is directly inspired by the real-world opioid crisis. Which, again, put it this way, the fentanyl crisis over here in the West, the equivalent of that on the other side of the globe would be the opioid crisis over in the East. So it'll be interesting, man. You know, again, I don't want to dive too deep into this. I want to go pretty much as blind into this show as I could possibly manage. So let's move on to the next one. Here's a little brief one we can touch on. New FF14 update is coming. New raids, quests, and trials, which is good. I'm itching to get back into 14. There's a lot of games on my plate between Metaphor and other things, but I'm excited to get back into this. And, Dawn Trail was a good expansion. It's a really, really good expansion. I want to preface it with that. But it feels like it's on the weaker side as far as FF14 goes. It's better than A Realm Reborn, but it's probably, in my opinion, on par with Stormblood. So hopefully these post-campaign patches and updates add some content, story stuff, raids, quest trials that sort of flesh out and improve the expansion. Hey, thank you for that follow, Presmac Queen. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us here on Morning Quest over on Twitch. So yeah, looking forward to the FF14 update. Again, I also absolutely love, like, all the art that comes out of this. Like, come on, dog. All right. Won't go into it too much. Again, we got some new raids, which look fantastic. It's Cloud of Darkness. But it's all looking pretty fun. That's FF14 for you. But let's move on here. Let's see. What's the next one we can hit? What's up, Josh C? Echoes of Wisdom is wonderful, FYI. Yeah, that's one of the games. I'm probably going to play Echoes of Wisdom once I finish Metaphor. Sounds mid-base what people think of STBL. STBL. What's going on with me? Why don't I know what STBL is? Sounds mid-based what people think of STBL. Help me out, Lance. I'm real slow this morning. Spell it out for me, would you? Okay, let's pull up another little trailer we could watch. Why not, right? Let me think. Oh, actually, here's what we got to talk about. Where is it? So first of all, yes, we need to talk about this. We need to Stormblood. Oh, okay, Stormblood. Yeah, Stormblood. Let me tell you something, Lance. Stormblood. People are a little too hard on it. I think it's a great story. It really builds Lisa's character. She's fantastic in it. I would say like Lisa's arc in Stormblood is better than Wooklamot's in Dawn Trail. But people are too hard on Stormblood because Heavensward is a tough act to follow, and Shadowbringers, it's tough to be followed by Shadowbringers. So it's like Stormblood is sandwiched between two of the greatest MMO campaigns of all time. So I don't think it does it any favors. But I love Stormblood. And a lot of the Stormblood content is actually peak in terms of like the raids, the trials, the dungeons. Stormblood's content is right on. Anyway, we need to talk about this. All right. Like, again, guys, I know I keep things very positive on here. Again, I want to be 90-95% positive. But there are some things that happen in the gaming world that really, really, really tick me off. This is one of them. I actually think we covered this story briefly, that there was a fan archive for Nier and a lot of Yoko Taro's work that was, again, archiving a lot of his stuff. Corporate Square Enix, and I say that carefully, right? Because I really do love Square Enix, but I love their devs and I love their work. But corporate Square Enix over here has decided to shut down the fan archive for reasons you could probably figure out yourself, you know. They'd rather keep a lot of that stuff closer to the chest than let it be in some fan archive that's public. But exactly. Well, Yoko Taro, great by Harvey here. Well, Yoko Taro says, thank you. Square Enix says, any last words? This is the stuff that really bothers me because it was a labor of love. That fan archive was a labor of love. There are people who, for no money, no benefit, no nothing, put together that fan archive simply because they love and are a fan of Yoko Taro's work. And then the people Yoko Taro worked for butt in and just go, nope, can't have that. And that bugs me because it's like, yo, when your fans do a labor of love like that, I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I don't want to get too far into it here. Okay, one second. Yeah, Accords Library, a fan website that gathers and archives lore from the Nier and Dragon Card games, has been told to shut things down. This was shared on the site's Discord server. Can we maybe check this out? Here, let's maybe get a little zoom on. Dear recorders and observers of Accords Library, these past few years have been a pleasure, but we regret to inform you all that we've been contacted by Square Enix legal team. After some private communications based on the outline requirements, we have come to the conclusion that Accords Library must close its doors by the end of the month. Oh, Jesus. I'm kind of just skimming to see if there's anything important. I do like that they ended with glory to mankind, but this is, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't think that's cool. Right? Your fans have such a passion and love for what you do. And they put something like that together to no benefit of their own other than they love it. And then you just come in and shut it down. Not cool, man. Not cool. Anyway, let's see what we got now. I think I covered all the title topics. Cringe Enix. I love that. Cringe Enix. Because again, they're a big company, right? They're a big company. So there's things that they're doing that I love. There are things that they're doing that I don't love. And it's a fractured company. So again, it's not like the same people are calling the shots about every little thing, right? But again, it's these, there's something going on. There's something going on. Whether we're talking about the sort of censorship stuff we talked about a week or two ago, or we're talking about shutting fan archives down like this, again, censoring Toriyama's work, it's like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Does someone need to like shake you a little bit and be like, the fans love what they love? Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about something a little more fun. All right? We'll keep it Yoko Taro based here. Check this out. So I do love that Yoko Taro is taking it upon himself to just comment on any of these games that release. And I'm not even being coy about that. I actually do love it. I do love that when Stellar Blade came out, he was there commenting on it, giving his thoughts. And I do love that Metaphor here, he's giving his thoughts. And I like this title. Undefeated JRPG salesman Yoko Taro congratulates Metaphor ReFantazio developer. Immediately asks fans to buy Nier Automata too. Here, actually, we like Genki. Maybe we could pull up Genki's tweet here. Released Metaphor. He compliments the game's UI, music, and fun gameplay elements. You see, this is why he's based. Oh, we did not mean to do that. This is why he's based. Because the UI is the first thing he complimented Atlus on. Because again, don't get me wrong, Atlus does a lot of things right. The music, the story, the gameplay, the characters, the art. But the thing that they are the best in the business at is their UI. He says he would be happy if after clearing Metaphor ReFantazio, people go to the shop and pick up Nier Automata. Listen, man, you gotta respect the hustle. You gotta respect the hustle. They're shutting down his fan archive, but he's still out here. He's still out here. You gotta love it. Asks fans to buy Nier. I mean, dude, if you developed a video game and then you were asked to comment on it and then you compliment them to no end, you could say, by the way, when you're done, go buy my game. He wasn't saying, stop playing Metaphor and come play my game. He's like, when you're done, enjoy the game. But when you're done, why don't you come over to my house? I respect it. I respect the hustle, personally. I personally respect the hustle. And the fact that he does it in the fucking Emil head. Okay. Okay, what do you say? What do we got? Oh, we got some time. What do you say we wrap up with a few trailers? I did pull up some trailers we could watch. Oh, that's actually before we did anything else. I did want to touch on this. Where are we? Right here. So, if you guys didn't know, Sakurai, creator of Super Smash Bros., has a YouTube channel where he's been talking mostly about game development and developing games and sort of offering his insights and his advice to young creators, young developers, people who are in the business. He recently just put out his last video, but what you have here is an archive of 273 videos. So if anybody out there is into game development or is even just interested in how the minds of game developers work, I'm telling you, there is a gold mine. There's an absolute gold mine of content here, courtesy of Sakurai. did it out of the goodness of his own heart. I mean, yeah, he's going to collect that ad money, but he'll make more money probably working 1 month on Super Smash Brothers than this YouTube channel is going to get him perpetually. But he recently put it to a close. Just want to give him a shout out because I think what he did was fantastic. I've really enjoyed a lot of these videos. So shout out to him, man. Okay, let's catch up with chat a little bit. 10 million possible for Automata, right? For sales wise? That depends on the company. Some are extremely particular about IP usage. And I get that. I really do get that. Give me a second. But it was an archive, right? It wasn't like, for instance, like when Nintendo shuts down a fan-made game, I believe it wasn't monetized because he's the best. Because Sakurai's the best, right, Lance? But here's the thing, like when Nintendo shuts down like a fan-made game, I can almost understand that. I don't agree with it, but I can understand where they're coming from. It's like, hey, that's our IP, that's our story to tell, that's our gameplay experience that we are going to deliver to the customer, not you. So like when Nintendo shuts down a fan-made game like that, especially one that people expect to profit off of, I can understand. Again, don't agree, but I can understand. This was just a fan archive. You know what I mean? And I get that, you know, anyway. I said my piece. But I appreciate it, Josh. Let's move on here. We got a couple trailers I wanted to watch. This one popped my screen. Again, going in kind of blind, like we were with Threads of Time. Saw a cool thumbnail. Figure we'll give it a shot. Nintendo shuts down everything. They do. But there's still some things that slip between the cracks. If you're a Star Fox fan out there, check out A Fox in Space. Amazing, like YouTube, like TV series about Star Fox, which has like Bebop vibes, you might say. And check out Ice Cream Man, who's making a fan-made Star Fox game collaborating with the voice actor for Crystal. So if you're a Star Fox fan, I highly recommend you check out A Fox in Space and Ice Cream Man. Nintendo hasn't shut them down yet. And anyway, this is called Void Rot. No idea what it is. Thought the thumbnail looked cool. Let's check it out. Let me tell you something. Just like I say, turn-based pixelated RPGs are not a thing of the past. They are a genre. I'm so happy that in the last, 5 years, we have seen such a resurgence in side-scrollers. It genuinely has made me happy. I've got to say, because I love 3D platformers. Don't get me wrong. And I think my favorite platformers are 3D platformers. But man, I grew up on side-scrollers. You know what I'm saying? First games I ever played were Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario Brothers. Literally. My NES there, my Sega Genesis there. It was either Super Mario Brothers or Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And 3. 3 was the best. All right, keep this going. Okay, solid trailer. Solid trailer. Probably not for me, but pretty good. Let's, got one more trailer before we close up today. I think we got through everything. Yes, okay. So, this is one I wasn't initially interested in, but open the shit the fuck. Yeah, open the pit. Open the pit. Lance, this is why I love you. This is why I love you, dude. Open the pit, dude. Open the pit. We got to open a pit at KH Reconnect. We got to open a pit at KH Reconnect. We got to tell Chad Music learn some breakdowns to add into some of those musical arrangements, and then we will open the pit at Reconnect. Okay, let's. Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. So, I originally did not have much interest in this game, but then I got an email last night where I was offered a key, and I don't think I'm going to follow up on it, but maybe this trailer wins me over. It's 5 minutes. I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing. I might just skip around, but let's check this out.
Let us tell you the tale of the Beren Empire and the generations of emperors that led it into prosperity. Discover the story of Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. The seven heroes were once hailed as saviors, but the ancients feared their power and banished them to another dimension. They have now returned as villains bent on revenge.
Okay. I like the premise. It's familiar for you FF14 fans, but I like the premise.
As legions of fiends swarm the world, you take on the role of ruler of the Beren Empire.
Praise be to the Empire.
As the story progresses, if you abdicate, or if your emperor is defeated in battle, you'll select the new emperor from a variety of potential heirs.
Okay, that's kind of cool as a gameplay concept, because that reminds me of, like, you know, Fire Emblem, right? Like, the character dies in Fire Emblem, they're done, got to replace them. I think this is cool, where it's like, if your main character, if your emperor dies in battle, you can pick the new heir. Or if you abdicate. Bison's my guy. All right, keep it going.
Thanks to the inheritance magic that passes the abilities from one emperor to another, you will grow stronger across successive generations to defend your legacy and defeat the seven heroes.
We will. Okay, I gotta be honest. This is the wackiest freaking character design I've seen all year. Dude, the fucking brown in the front, the blue in the... Look at this motherfucker. I'm not saying anything negative. I like wacky. I think this is awesome.
We'll have our vengeance.
The Emperor cannot save the world on their own. To build your team is as simple as going into a tavern. While you're at it, don't forget to help yourself to a tasty beverage on the house.
Better be on the house.
Recruit powerful allies from existing Imperial forces, freelance specialists, or alliance.
Okay, I will say, I'm starting to be won over.
You've made. Select from over 30 different classes featuring a wide variety of professions and races, each with their own favorite weapon, unique abilities, and effective tactics. Before throwing yourselves into the next battle...
See, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I love... It's funny, man. I call myself an RPG fan, but, like, my favorite RPGs sort of are... Like, my favorite RPGs are, in a sense, kind of half-baked in the RPG element, to a degree. In the sense that, like, for instance, if you compare, say, Dragon Quest or Fire Emblem to, like, a Final Fantasy, in Dragon Quest and Fire Emblem, you can really craft your team to be almost anything you want. You can give any character, any class, things like that. There's a lot of customization to your party composition, whereas in Final Fantasy, not knocking this, by the way, I think it's a perfectly good approach, but it's a different approach. In Final Fantasy, a lot of that is streamlined for you. Now, there are ways to get around it, like there's the materia in like FF7, but no matter what materia you give Tifa, she's still a monk. No matter what materia you give Barret, he's still a gunner. You see my point? Whereas in like a Dragon Quest or an Octopath, or even as we're seeing in Romancing Saga, in like a true RPG, and I put that in quotes, you're able to really cycle around and make your party composition really customizable. But anyway, enough of that.
Prepare your retinue's weapon techs and spells. Finally, choose from a wide range of formations which provide unique benefits to your team. More formations will become available as the story progresses. Freely explore the vast Varen Empire and discover its various locations and cultures. Don't be shy and speak with...
Okay, not gonna lie. The towns and the hubs look pretty good. I gotta say. The tavern was cool, but these towns and
vast Varen Empire and discover its various locations and cultures. Don't be shy and speak with the inhabitants to unlock new locations along your journey. You'll meet dangerous foes, but also potential allies. Different outcomes will rise depending on your approaches and choices.
Should you require anything of us, we'll be right here.
What is your particular quarrel with the heroes? That they threaten the peace or the size of your empire?
Oh, I like that.
Your honesty is refreshing. I shall ensure that my people will assist you.
Developing the Empire in its capital, Avalon, over the successive generations...
Bro, this is crazy. I think we're the bad guys. I think we're the bad guys. The 7 heroes, their powers were feared, so they got locked away, sealed away. We are the Empire, and we have to build the Empire. I think we're the bad guys. Do you think this will get a better reception than Visions of Mana? I think it will. And Visions of Mana was well received, right? Anyone who got their hands on the game had nothing but good things to say about it. I think my issue with Visions of Mana, the reason why I didn't take the leap is because I really didn't like the character designs. Again, there's a difference. I'm not saying they were bad character designs. I'm saying I didn't like them, right? I'm very much a fan of this isn't for me, not this is shit. There's a difference between this isn't for you and this is shit. So Visions of Mana, the character designs really didn't pull me in. The gameplay looked pretty cool, but I don't know. There were Visions of Mana, we watched it on the show. It was intriguing. It looked cool, but it's not pulling me in the way that this trailer in particular is going through everything this game has to offer, from its RPG elements to its story to its towns and hubs. We're getting a real full picture of what this game has to offer, and I think the character designs are pretty cool in this game. I think the towns and hubs look really good. The story premise is cool. I'm already wondering, are we the bad guys? They were the 7 heroes. We sealed them away because we feared their power? Come on. Come on. The Empire feared the power of 7 strong individuals? I don't know. I feel like we're the bad guy. Anyway, let's keep this going.
Is essential to create the most powerful battle retinue as possible. After finishing a key quest line, a new region will join your empire and contribute to its economy,
Wait, what?
which means more income to develop Avalon.
Honestly? I think I'm being won over in real time.
Build key facilities such as the Smithy and the Incantations Lab.
So, this is like Fire Emblem meets Civilization meets Final Fantasy. I'm really not gonna lie.
Upgrade them through generations to get access to advanced equipment and spells. Face deadly fiends in timeline turn-based battles. Spend battle points
Turn-based, baby!
to use weapon techs and spells. Be careful of the life points. If they reach 0, the retinue member will die and become permanently removed from the game.
I love it. I love it. Very, very Fire Emblem. Apply for a code, maybe? Lance, One second, Lance. One second. Lance, hang tight. Hang tight. 1 second. 1 second. Check your phone, Lance. I'll keep this going.
Try using different weapon types and spells to find out what is most effective on your foes. Exploiting their weaknesses will fill the overdrive gauge and unlock the powerful united attack.
The battle animations are cool. See, look. I know this is a little off topic, but it's like you see the battle animations that a niche game like this can have, and that's why people like myself are like, Game Freak, can we step it up with the battle animations? Because the battle animations in some of these turn-based combats have looked so gorgeous, like Atlas Metaphor. The battle animations are beautiful. I'm looking at these. These are beautiful. Anyway, which is one of the cool things about turn-based too, right? Is like when you use a move, there's an element of cinematic to it that you get to appreciate that you don't in an action game. Not that you can't in an action game, but you're so in it, you don't really have time to like absorb. Anyway, keep going.
New techniques can occasionally be glimmered by using other weapon skills. After each battle, depending on how you fought, your retinue stats will level up.
Lingala, Fox, Awu, Rose, and Ceres. Yeah, she's cute. That's a good one. As I say, these designs are pretty good. Like, again, that's part of what draws me in. These designs are pretty good.
Which powerful allies will you make along your journey? Will you be up to the challenge of this epic battle that plays out over thousands of years? From how you expand the Empire to what order you challenge the 7 heroes, your actions and decisions will dramatically alter the course of your journey. Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. Available now.
Okay, I mean, look, it's funny, guys. Like, we went into this, I went into that pretty like, all right, let me just check this out. It's Romancing Saga 2. I didn't even know there was a first one. Honestly, I'd never really heard of this series until like yesterday. And I went into that trailer pretty blind. I watched like the first 30 seconds yesterday. I was like, okay, we could put this on Morning Quest. That might have won me over in real time. That was cool. All right. Anyway, we're going to wrap up here for today. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Lance, Seven Hearts, Luz, Josh, Noct Flugel. Who am I missing? Falcone. Thanks for hanging out in Morning Quest. Y'all the best. Again, I love doing this. Great way to start a Friday. We'll definitely be streaming some Metaphor this weekend. Like I said, we're going to do the podcast on Monday. I had to push it back last week because of a few things. But we're going to do the FF7 podcast on Monday. And we're going to do some like Metaphor streams this weekend and stuff like that. All right. Thanks for hanging out.